Good morning.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh,
Cool. Yeah, Mr. Shadowhawk, he must sleep in today. Uh, you know,
well, surely
yeah,
he deserves one day, right?
sure, a day of rest.
Yeah.
Uh,
Shouldn't that be the Sabbath though? Or like Saturday?
well,
Sunday, you got to get up and go to church, so may as well make it Saturday.
yeah, I mean, Shadow's not been, one to comply with any kind of day of rest. So I
Oh,
don't
I'm
know.
just, I'm
It's,
just screwing
why,
around.
why start now? Why break the mode? You know,
Go wail at that wall, you know.
yeah. Now you've been doing some castings talking about breaking the mode.
Yeah, yeah. Just simple stuff, mostly
Just
aluminum cans,
yeah. And why are you doing that?
because it's useless in the form that it is, you know. And I can sell them if I want and do whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Pure aluminum is pretty decent money.
Right.
But I'm doing copper scraps and all that too. So you're always running into wire that you can't reuse. So what are you going to do with it? Just throw it away?
But you couldn't do it today because it's been raining for like 3 days.
Yeah, yeah. It's getting a little chilly, but
At least there where you're at. Now it rained yesterday pretty much. It might have had it was sporadic through the night. So about a day and a half here, maybe, partially today. It was early this morning, so into early this morning, about 5 or so.
hmm,
So it's been pretty steady here, but not quite 3 days here yet. But we really needed the rain. The earth was parched. I mean,
yeah.
dust bowl. You know.
Yeah, you couldn't even walk down the driveway without a dust cloud, you know. So it's kind of nice. It's peaceful when you're tinkering out in the shop and you hear the light rain just constantly just
Yeah, yeah,
it's
it's good to
peaceful.
sleep by.
Oh, it's super peaceful. Yeah. I always sleep better when there's a storm going.
Oh, up on the chosen site, which has 2.22 million subscribers, and I'm one of those.
Yep, me too.
Up on YouTube, it says season 4 of the global phenomenon coming soon.
Beautiful. I noticed that they
Yeah.
put on full episodes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I'm
They
assuming that we could probably review slash EFAP, episodes live and probably wouldn't be any problem. Maybe.
right. Yeah. Uh,
That's still a maybe. I don't know for sure, but
right.
yeah,
Well,
apparently they have seasons 1, 2, and 3 all up. That's crazy.
yeah. And don't know if you can see this if it's small for you. It says live from Brazil, international live stream, new scene and something. New
Oh, nice.
scene,
The director guy, Dallas Jenkins, dude,
new scene, and gifts. So I don't know what that's about.
he's a really good speaker. He's very outgoing. He seems
Hmm.
pretty down to earth. I like it.
The Chosen season 2 official trailer, 6 million views. The
Wow,
Chosen official trailer HD, 5.8 million views.
it's impressive.
Out of yeah, it's impressive. Out of 7 billion people, excuse me, out of the world, it's just a drop in the bucket, though, right? Like a
Yeah, yeah.
spittoon.
I
But
have to
we'll take
imagine.
what we can get, right?
Yeah, I have to imagine that there's a decent chunk of that
Many
7 billion that don't have internet.
many are called, few are chosen. Oh, just had to go there.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah,
So are you saying I'm not chosen?
no, no, I wasn't saying that at all. So you go over to live here, and they have many live things they've done live. So apparently they've streamed the Chosen Global live stream,
I
season
watched
3,
one the other day.
episode 6. So now just partially 11 minutes and 42 seconds. We've had some short episodes, but not that short.
No, yeah,
But
I think these are like recaps, like with the cast after the episode airs.
oh, okay. All right.
So they
Maybe.
like get to talk about their characters and what's happening. And
Well, now that's interesting. There's, to sort of the commentary that might be added to a disc later or something, a set later.
you remember Zebediah, the father of James and John?
Right. And he
Um,
sold, at least in The Chosen, he sold his fishing boat for
Olive,
an olive grove, right?
yeah, yeah.
To go
He
into an olive press.
He actually came to Christ while shooting this show.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I
That's
watched
wonderful.
his testimony on the Chosen site. It's pretty good.
And that was who now?
What's his name?
Which
Zebediah or something?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. And he's older. He's
Yep,
an older man.
yep. Yeah.
Although I'm sure they've made him look older than his actual age, but
Not a whole lot.
looks like a lot of this was done by phone here.
But see, you got to remember though that back in the day, I mean, people were dying at 40, right? So you had to have kids
Right.
pretty young.
Yeah. Yeah, you really can't show many aged people as we would. They were
Right.
getting married at like age 16.
It would be inaccurate if they
estimated
did.
that Mary, mother of Jesus, was maybe 16 when her and Joseph got married.
Well, see, that seems a little old to me.
Yeah, well, we're from Arkansas, right?
Well, I'm just saying, like, even then, like, my grandparents met at 14 and they were basically betrothed. I mean,
Wow. Yeah, I guess that would seem.
don't get me wrong. They met at like some mutual friend's birthday party. My grandpa saw her and said, "You're going to be my wife." And then like 2 years later, like after their little courting, he got permission from her parents, and then he went to the army. And by the time he came back, she was 18. They got married, had kids that year.
Now, was that World War II?
If I said that, he'd slap me so hard.
Oh, okay. Do you know how long they've been married?
Almost 60 years.
Almost 60 years. Wow.
Actually, it might be 60 years.
That's less than 10. I'm told that's less than 10% of marriages today.
I believe it.
My parents were married 62 years, and then my father passed away.
That's what's going to happen here, except it's probably going to be my grandma first.
My father would be over 90. 90, let's see. About 92 had he been living. So he was born in 1931.
My grandpa was born in 36.
Mm.
And
See, my mother was born in 35.
My grandma was born in 41.
And by that, I mean adoptive parents, because that's the only parents I've known. But
right.
I've recently, that's a miracle on itself. My sister contacting me earlier this year.
And that is crazy. Your real sister, right? Biological. So
real biological.
And she's in Arkansas, right?
Sister, we have two different
dads.
I think I was conceived out in California and I was born in Little Rock at St. Vincent's, which is still there in North Little Rock. I've passed St. Vincent's before. So I've seen several times. I've seen going into Memphis or coming out of Memphis. I'll glance over and look at St. Vincent's where I was born. I have seen the adoption agency back in the 70s when I was in 5th grade. It was right next to the zoo, and I just kind of I said, I guess we know where I came from.
Amen.
Yeah. They picked me up at the zoo. But
it sounds very similar to what my great grandpa used to say when we'd go visit him. He'd say, "Okay, He'd open up the screen door and say, "Okay, all the adults come on in. You kids, you stay outside and let the stink blow off you."
Well, in fifth grade, we took a couple, two or three. Seemed like I know one time we went up around the Hardy area and rode horses.
Mhm.
And that was kind of like a all day field trip. And one, this particular time when we went down Little Rock, we saw the Capitol and other, heard about the history and went to few gift shops and different things. I know I picked up some postcards and other things, which I still have, as a matter of fact, in a scrapbook that I made that year. Um, have some soybean and rice and different things that I typed to a page, talking about Arkansas. We were to do a scrapbook on Arkansas, which um,
That could turn
I'd
out being pretty
recommend
thick.
for any kid about that age,
Mm-hmm.
about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10 years old, I guess I was,
It's a good age.
somewhere in there.
You'll discover a lot.
Yeah, I think to learn about your state, that's pretty worthwhile learning,
Mhm. Yeah.
the Diamond State, all kinds of interesting stuff. Of course,
The
a lot of
Catchhill State.
wetlands,
Yeah.
a lot of farmers in the off season will pump up at least one field to duck hunt.
And
Not
we
everybody
also
does
are,
that, but my brother does that.
well, aren't we one of the few states with rice fields too? Like string
Right.
plantations.
Yeah, Bryce is our number one, or it used to be. I assume it still is.
Yeah, it
We
used to
do a
be
lot
like
of
rice.
cotton. We do a lot of soybeans, some milo. Um, I know my father tried peanuts when Jimmy Carter was in here. He would sow a little bit here or there, just try it. I
You know,
think he
Rex.
did. I think he did kale one year.
Oh, wow. That was
Drew
before it was
kale.
cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what's funny is my great grandpa, the one I was just talking about, we would go visit him and he was in California. Well, what's ironic was he was born here in Arkansas, on the like in the Delta, like near the Mississippi River. And a lot of those old boating communities, he actually helped build all the docks, like when it was getting real popular and a lot of money flowing up and down the river. And then he ended up being a carpenter in California and just staying there. I'm pretty sure he always wanted to come back, but he was afraid he'd live on dirt floors again,
I'm noticing on here on the homepage it says Hollywood Pride Flag and New Phillip live stream. So apparently, and that was a couple-hour live stream. I guess talking about the replacement of a new actor for Phillip and the Pride flag sort of debacle, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? What happened
There's
there?
not a whole lot. It was just
Mm-hmm.
it was a picture from while they were shooting, and some camera guy had a pride flag or whatever, and people pointed it out, obviously. And I'm pretty sure that they made some kind of statement where, like, it was just that guy. It's not like the show's projecting it or whatever. It's an individual, not the crew.
Right. Yeah. Now this may be a little choppy, folks, because it's not coming from Smoking Rate's smooth recordings. But this is what we watched last week, which was and kind of did a breakdown of the Chosen season 4 teaser trailer. So let's take a look at that, shall we?
Yeah.
Chop it up.
It's time.
What wondrous love is this? Oh, my
Listen carefully
soul,
to my words.
oh, my soul.
There are those for whom this will set off a series of events.
What wondrous love is this? Oh, my soul.
My followers won't understand. The Son of Man must suffer many things. But you are the Son of God.
What wondrous love is this that calls the Lord of bliss?
I know it's hard. Man makes it much harder.
to bear the
Yes, we do.
dreadful curse.
Right.
When he leans on his own understanding.
To bear the dreadful curse.
I dread what is to come. Storing it, nearing its end.
For my soul.
And you know, February is just right around the corner.
February is one of the best months.
You know, around here, I guess it's a little rainy, right? I don't know. I guess so.
Well,
We'd
it's supposedly
be
when I was born, so all this
around here. We would be more than halfway through winter at that time. Of course, tax return time in there.
more than halfway. We've had some of our worst winter weather in like March.
Yeah,
Usually
Yeah,
ice,
but
but still.
yeah, but usually by April, it's we're coming out of winter, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, hell yeah, mosquitoes are out by then.
Well, see, and that depends on how good of a freeze we get. You know,
It was June. I started spraying for mosquitoes in June, which seems to be a norm now. But I think they did start in April of last year. I don't know why it took them so long to process me. I actually lost some time, but definitely mosquitoes. I've been bitten recently, and Shadowhawk didn't want to hear it, but you know, I hate
like
it when those
West Nile.
buggers bite me. Oh yeah. I mean, you know, that's the big reason. You know, that, and they're just a nuisance, right?
Oh, I was being sarcastic. Yeah, it's just annoying, itchy.
Yeah, I never have sprayed a West Niles area that I know of, but right before I hired on, one year in Paragould, they did have a small outbreak of West Niles virus.
Well, luckily, simple
Now
antibiotics.
it might have been, you know, that they have traps. We have traps in every city that we do, and and then they bring the bugs in and they test them for things like that. So they
Mhm.
probably find out, whoops, we got a trace here of West Niles, and it just has to be in one mosquito, and they put like 10 people on there, you know, to saturate the area,
Right.
maybe for several days. You know, I mean, it is disease control. So, you know, more people die from mosquitoes than any other thing every year, over 2 million each year as it stands, which doesn't sound like a lot out of over 7 billion people, but
Well, it's not quite cancer, but
yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you get malaria, ZZ, which affects children, right?
right, all the mosquito-borne illnesses together.
Yeah.
I
mean,
got you. Yeah,
I mean,
especially if you get it into a place where certain, you know, like let's say garlic doesn't grow naturally in your area, or you can't get a hold of antibiotics, like you're pretty much screwed.
well, you know, people are getting away from. I mean, I think they're coming back to remedies and things like that, and they need to. There's a lot of science behind it, you know.
Well,
Like you say,
every
garlic.
prescription is based on a chemical structure they found in nature. The only way to
Absolutely.
patent it is to alter it.
Absolutely.
And I just prefer not to take the altered substance. I'll just take where it came from,
Right.
which
Yeah,
is why I
you're
take garlic every day, and I just don't get sick. You know.
that's good. Yeah, I'm pretty much that way too, and I don't take garlic. Although I do have some garlic here on hand. I saw it in the refrigerator just earlier today. Some minced garlic, which I will put in like meatloaf and other things like that. You know.
If you put enough in the food you eat, then you don't really have to take it on its own.
Right. Yeah.
But I just, take a clove and I'll bite it in half and just swallow it like a pill, and then
Wow. Do you have a garlic cooker? I have a garlic cooker. It's a
I
little.
don't cook garlic.
It's a little terracotta
Yeah, yeah.
thing that you put the garlic in the husk.
My grandma used to do it.
Yeah, and
I just know raw is better, so I just eat it raw.
it has a little steam hole.
Hmm.
A lot of people like that, and it comes out in a little pod. You spread it like butter, cooked garlic.
You got to remember though, once you go past, I think it's 119 degrees, any enzymes that are in your food are destroyed. So any benefit will be vanished. You know,
Past what? What was the?
119 degrees. That's when
Okay,
enzymes start
so
destroy, decay.
all right, but then what about meat? I mean, they say 140 for like pork and other things.
Yeah, well, that's not protein. I'm talking enzymes.
Okay, all right. Well, you're getting all sciencey on me.
No, it's just the
Well, I
basic.
did say it. Science.
You know,
Yeah.
I used to be into the raw food thing, so we
Oh,
always had to deal
definitely.
with numbers.
Well, you're. I don't know if your parents did. Mine did, and I saw a video recently on it. Just a snippet. I caught it, and I said, that makes sense. Um, chew your food up properly.
Hmm.
You really do. You don't. A lot of people don't chew their food really good, up really good, and you're not breaking it down and helping your digestive tract get to that nutrition that's in it.
I
If you
think they
don't do
say
that,
that it's like upwards of 70% of people who are like have digestion issues or constipation. It's because they don't chew up their food good enough, so it just clogs up in there.
yeah. Well, there you go. And they also said, we you got to have a big gulp. You got to have something to wash it down with. Well, you're interjecting and diluting your stomach acids that help break that food down. So
Hmm.
actually, they recommend, I think, an hour and a half, and then you can have something to drink, after eating.
Right.
Um, if you had to take a sip, I guess, of something
To
while
wet
you're
your
eating,
whistle. Yeah.
to kind of get it down, or especially if you like eating dry cornbread or something like that, you'd probably need a little something to help get it down, or dry crackers, stuff.
Well, you just got to put enough butter on it.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah. Salted too.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I mean, a good dish to me is just melted butter and some black eyed peas, heated up, and just eat the black eyed peas. I love black eyed peas.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean it's good fiber, right? Uh, I prefer the black eyed pea over the purple hull. There is a difference, although they look pretty much the same. Um, but a different taste for me. I'll eat both, but I prefer the black eyed peas over the purple. Uh, I think you had said you prefer the purple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not hating on them. I just prefer those. But now, when it comes to green leafy vegetables, not so much, and that's bad because you need to be somewhat of a herbivore, right? Uh, and eat your vegetables. But
I
I'm more into the pea or fruit than I am vegetables.
Yeah. I'm starting to like the
Or
more I
beans.
the
Yeah.
more you figure out what vegetables actually do in your body, I'm more and more just gonna eat meat. Like you eat vegetables because they taste good and it's different texture or whatever, but I don't think we're getting much from them. It's rabbit
Morning,
food. Oh,
morning shadow hot.
well, hello, Shadow. They call it rabbit food for a reason. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I had sent him the link. That's probably why he's not woken up yet, right?
He did say just woke up. Really unusual for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you play hard,
You
the
rest
next
hard.
day you're gonna pay for it,
Hmm.
you're gonna oversleep. Um,
Did you hear that,
that's all
Shadow?
right.
You need to quit your drinking.
Wow. Okay. Sure. Why not? Uh,
Or just start drinking earlier so then you can get a full night's sleep.
Or you've seen, I saw one recently. I don't know if they used like cow lungs or what, but they had an inflation hose there, and they were showing healthy lungs, non-smoking lungs to smoking lungs. And man, those smoking lungs were just charred black.
Yep.
And I say this as a person that has smoked in my past. And so, yeah, there's some charcoal there in my life. And
It's funny,
my father, when he was in his 80s, they pumped a lot of that out of his lungs when he got almost pneumonia, I guess, or maybe he did get pneumonia. I think he did there toward the end of his life, and he was on life support for a little while there. But and if it hadn't cleared up, I mean, it was a miracle that it just kind of cleared up, and he died in his sleep, peaceful.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
My great grandpa didn't stop smoking until he got his first heart attack. Had nothing to do with his lungs, or at least that's what they said.
Is this the grandpa that's your neighbor that lives there with you?
No, I'm talking about my great grandpa. This was my
great grandpa.
Yeah, okay. This was my grandma's dad. He just recently died. I mean, he was 97.
Well, it's the thing here. I guess
he smoked his entire life.
You know? I mean, my great uncle, he had that braided, big, long braided tobacco that he would chew. There was snuff, which is like powder, put a little on your hand, I guess, and sniff it. I never understood that.
You're talking about snus?
Snuff.
Yeah. That's what my great grandma did since she was 12, 14.
Oh, yeah. A lot of women did that.
She died at 99, bro. Like, she never quit. She refused.
Wow. Hey, Shadowhawk.
You know what she told? What's up, Shadow? You know what she told my grandpa and all of her kids? She goes, you can get me to quit eating all this crap or get me to exercise. She goes, but I ain't quitting my snuff.
Oh, shit. Hold on.
It's kind of funny.
Okay, sorry. I was in a loop.
She lived to be 99. Well, see, there's a lesson, folks. Had she not done that, she probably would have easily made it over 100.
Nah, she wanted to go. she goes, it's time for me to see Jesus. That's what she used to say.
Well, that's great. I mean, but you really have to, I think if you're going to live that long, you really have to have a force of will,
Oh, that sounds like her, man.
Yeah.
She refused to let it's stubborn, more than anything.
Here's a closer analogy, maybe a force in nature.
Yeah, that could be it too. I mean, she just refused to let people help for the most part. She goes, no, I can do it myself. So she's cutting the grass, trimming trees,
Well, that sounds like Shadowhawk sometimes,
Sounds like my grandpa too. It's like mother, like son.
I'm all for being independent, but you need to have a humble streak and learn to foster that as well and allow others to help you to receive a blessing that God has for you.
Well, there were limits. It was like she knew that there were things that she had to do in order to stay healthy, and I think work was one of them.
Yeah. Evidently, it worked for her. She
always stayed real healthy. She's very athletic.
That's great. So. And there's, a good diet. I mean, you want to.
Not according to doctors.
I know a lot of people say genetics, but a good healthy diet. And I mean, like, eat things like cherries that are anti-inflammatory or,
She said if you put enough butter, you'll be fine. That's what she used to say. Trust me, the doctors did not agree with her diet. She never got fat. She was always pretty skinny.
It's always worked for me.
Well, see, here's the deal, though. Every body is different. So I hate it when they say, oh, this is not good for you. It's like, maybe not for some people, though.
Yeah, everyone's unique, and enough butter, it'll just slide right on through you,
Well, not even that. It's if you don't eat a bunch of sugar, then the butter you eat is going to turn directly into energy. Fat, turns straight to energy. It doesn't store up in your body. That's
Yeah, I
science.
mean, you know, it's all in what we wisdom that we use. You know, I mean, kids survived for centuries, right? I mean,
Without
to the
vaccine.
latter part of the 19th century, there wasn't a lot of sugary confections and different things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, Cracker Jack was just coming out.
Oh, Cracker Jacks.
Yeah, I think Cracker Jack came out in the 1870s.
That
Uh,
sounds about right. That's when America started getting fat.
yeah, I mean, they later would push the food pyramid, which is not correct. You know,
Right.
I agree with you. But we need to eat like not like there's no tomorrow, but like there will be a tomorrow.
Well, that's
You
why I
know, we
say we
need.
have to eat to live, don't
I
live
think
to eat.
right. I love that. I love that
Yeah.
because
I heard that a long time ago and it just stuck with me. It
you
just,
know what you are. You know the old adage: you are what you eat, and
yep.
it's you have to watch what you eat
Yeah, if you
and
eat bags of Cheetos,
the amount that you eat. These processed foods are killing us. I mean, in
mhm.
1902, I
Yeah,
know
isn't
in
that crazy?
1902, diabetes
1902.
diabetes was 100 on the disease list. I think it's moved up to it
Well,
was
guess
at
what?
3 for a long time.
Autism and mental illness really didn't exist until the 1950s.
Right. Yeah.
My grandma remembers that. She goes, there was pretty much no crazy people. She goes, the only real mental disorders back in the day was like the big ones, your schizophrenia, paranoid delusions.
And there's a lot of additives, preservatives, other things that I mean actually I've been seeing on the Twitter, on Twix.
Yeah.
I've been seeing uh a lot of things on bugs, you know, that some of the preservatives, other things come from bugs. So they're slowly introducing bug material into our food. And if you don't look at uh, the little ingredients of your product, you could be eating some bug material.
Well,
Hey,
did you
Past
you
Master
heard
Man.
about Tyson chicken, right?
Yeah, I just saw that yesterday. I think.
They're
Yeah.
based right outside of my city right here. Like,
Oh yeah, Tyson's big here for sure.
yep.
Even in Jonesboro, there's a big Tyson factory. Coloring comes from
Titan.
chitin, which is not digestible. Yeah, there's a lot of things that
A
are
lot of
not
plant matter.
digestible. I know within
Mhm.
like potato chips, things like that, that there's an ingredient that by itself is not poison, but your body breaks it down into formaldehyde. How is
Yeah.
that good for you?
Well, it's not. That's the point, right? Like they don't
Right.
want it healthy because that's one less customer for them.
Yeah.
Mm,
I'm a
yummy.
science guy.
However, it's ironic that America refuses to label GMO foods while Europe bans them and Russia makes organic farming mandatory.
Yeah, and I saw we showed on here. Yeah, saccharin is poison. Yeah, it'll give you cancer. I mean, that was a big thing, right?
Guys, just stay away from sugar and you don't have to worry about it.
Well, you know,
I know it's hard. I know we're all fatties, but you got to try.
well, like you know, sugar was a problem at the founding of the country. When I mean,
No problem. But
that's when they first started importing pure cane sugar. And look at George Washington; he had one tooth in his head, and it was due to basically cane sugar, pretty
Mhm.
much.
I'm telling you,
And
sugar's the devil's work.
yeah, it's definitely not good for your teeth, right?
There's a reason it's sweet and and temptation, right? It's supposed to be that way. You got to resist
Well,
temptation.
and then of course, chemically, right? We're a batch of chemicals, right? And if you want to make lemonade, you have to have certain ingredients. If you want to make something else, you have to make have other ingredients. And what you put in there, right, is what you're going to come out with
Yep.
eventually. brew up. So, I mean, it's a small chemical factory within your body, right? And you put a lot of, you need what, alkaline, neutral to prevent cancer, or
More neutral, pH to basic. Yeah, more alkali. Yeah.
They want us to be on a consumer, under the thumb, it's going to cost you type system. I don't know. Refined carbohydrates.
Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah,
Convert straight
terrible.
to sugar.
And that, I mean, that is really your immune system, right? Is your gut. So
yeah, that's where it all starts, right? It's like you said, you are what you eat. You put in shit, you're gonna feel like shit.
Past Master Dan says he's corrosive. Wow.
Amen. He wears
kind
on you.
Kind of like Coca-Cola on a battery. Huh?
Yeah.
A boiling.
They call it the hazmat team. Spill a Coke.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? I was watching this video, and this guy used to work at Intel, like where they make the computer circuits.
Well, let's don't get off on the cyborg thing just quite yet. I mean,
cyborg? No.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying,
Coca-Cola.
When you eat that sugar, let's stay on that for a second.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just know that it gives you an endorphin bump, right?
Well, I'm just saying he spilled a Coke in the area, and by law, they had to call the hazmat team to clean up a Coca-Cola that spilled because it has hydrochloric acid in it.
Past Master Dan says my fingerprints rust up overnight.
So it's like the Tin Man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like certain rings will turn your finger black. Certain people because of their body chemistry.
I got some WD-40.
Yeah, it's the pH of your skin.
It is a pH, yeah. And
I got some WD-40 for you, Past Master Dan.
Well, I don't know. Some people use that for arthritis. I don't know that that's a good thing.
My grandpa used to. They changed the recipe in the early 90s, Rex. That's why it don't work anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, back in the old days, I wouldn't recommend putting a petroleum. I think there's more natural ways, right?
Well, no, it's back in the day it was made with DMSO, which is actually what they used for horses, like race horses, to keep their joints good. But now they use alcohol base.
I started buying collagen and taking it. In fact, I took a collagen earlier today.
Collagen? Your body can't digest collagen.
Depends on the type of
your body makes collagen.
Yeah.
You have to give it the right ingredients.
Okay, so another.
Yeah, but you also have to intake a certain amount of it for your joints.
It's made of certain things.
Dude, that's why the carnivore diet and all that stuff, there are good fats and bad fats. The collagen stuff is in the good fats.
In like the bones, right? Like a roast. Oh man, we would do like a roast in the crock pot. And I always want as a kid, one of the best parts to me. And you had to watch for small little bone chips every now and then. But I would eat the fat out of the bone.
Yes, suck it right out.
Oh man, it was good.
It's like melted butter, dude. It's
it's just fatty, globby goodness. Whoop.
So Carrie's here. Carrie. Yeah, she said, "Hey Rex, Shadowhawk, and Trouble."
Oh wow!
Probably best having him in the middle. Make sure he behaves.
Well, yeah, keep an eye on him. We got him covered. Yeah.
Oh, Past Master Dan talk about spirulina. I used to eat that. Spirulina and chlorella, pure protein. It's an algae. Yeah.
Well, I've had some salted. My neighbor beat cancer for a second time, and still probably needs to add some body weight, but she eats healthy, and for a snack she would eat like salted seaweed.
Well,
I ate some of that. She gave me some. I tried it.
We used to get bottles of phytoplankton.
I'm not a fan. I've got to tell you, I'm just not a fan.
Don't they say that phytoplankton is like the base form of life, like on the planet? Like
definitely.
Called the whales. Yeah. We used to get bottles of that, and you would get a dropper and just put it under your tongue like once a day.
Photosynthesis, right?
Yeah, it tasted like pure salt, but it gave you the effects of like a 12-pack of Red Bull. It was just
welcome back, Shadow.
Energy. It's crazy.
Thank you.
Single celled, yes. Yeah, that's it. They're like pure ATP, which is energy that your cells produce.
Yeah, but you really have to test some of these places. Soy's bad for you, right?
Yeah.
Well, they back in the day at one of the GMC, wasn't it GMC? Like in the mall or whatever stores, health food stores, they had like
GMC, General Nutrition.
GMC. Okay, that's right. GMC. They had these soybean bars. Now, how's that good for you?
Well, it's all a scam.
It is a scam. That's
They're there
what
to
I'm
make
saying.
a quick buck, and they don't care about the health of the people that they experiment on.
The health food stores, it's they serve unhealthy things or have unhealthy products. You really not.
Well, even the whole vitamin and supplement industry is 90% bullshit.
Yeah,
they should be teaching this. They should start teaching this in grade school. Proper nutrition, not.
Yeah, but then you're not creating sheep, and that's what they want.
Right, I know. I got it.
It is.
They want you weak and dependent.
But it is the truth.
Consumers that will do what they want when they want.
Mm-hmm.
Drone bees, bunch of drone bees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do what you're told. Don't ask questions.
Maybe Ethan's onto something. I mean, he's got the whole Vespas thing and make the blood honey out of humans.
Yeah,
it's not lizard people; it's wasp people. Shit.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, when is Lorenzo going to get it straight?
Gosh, it's all about interpretation. Get it right.
That's right.
Interpret it my way or nothing.
That's right. Yeah. My way, the highway.
Mm-hmm. How? Right in the kisser.
Wow. I made the mistake of saying that to some older people.
Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Past Master Dan. Well, it's afternoon for Carrie by now.
Oh, that's right. We're talking to a time traveler.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the future.
Mm-hmm.
She lives in the future. Carrie, send me the lottery numbers.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are the stocks doing later today?
No, I don't think that works that way. No.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
that means the time difference is a scam.
I used to like to say, you wish, Bradshaw, you wish, Terry Bradshaw.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That used to be a saying, you wish, Bradshaw, you wish. Yeah, they really hit that Arkansas lottery around here heavy, don't they?
Yes, they do. Well, it's only been here a few years. So it's still pretty big.
You got the crazies that are in there every day lining up for tickets and shit.
I don't know about
really, but they blast it on the radio and the news and all this, like, oh, Arkansas Lottery's getting ready to, go get your ticket. Blah, 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 blah. They're really just pushing it,
Yeah, they started it probably, I don't know, 20 years ago here. They
help education.
Indiana Lottery.
Yeah, it all goes to education, supposedly.
Yeah, bull.
Yeah, and the roads and everything else. Bullshit.
It goes to Asa Hutchinson, that bastard.
They say 10%, goes to, I don't.
Well, that's not what they said when they first designed it, right? When they first came out with the idea, they're like, no, we're going to put all this money into schools and and then okay, how about 80%? Oh, how about 50%? And just came up with reasons why not to give the money back to the people. There's just reason after reason after reason.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of crap.
And the real killer is
how about you take away income tax and property tax and make up for it with the revenue of the idiots buying lottery tickets? How about that?
Well, Shadow asked me, do you have property tax there? And I was like, yes, we do.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. Well, some states don't.
Missouri.
Yeah, Texas, I think, doesn't have property tax.
Yeah, but they make up for it in other ways, people. Whether registering vehicles are more expensive or higher sales tax, whatever, they make up for it.
Yeah, they came up with an axle tax for our cars a couple years ago.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, you drive a regular car, it's a certain amount. If you got a car with a more than like a dually truck, or if you're driving a bigger vehicle,
Cross coming.
So, see, we have that here when you turn onto turnpikes. Like when you go into Oklahoma and you hit the Cherokee Turnpike, you got to pay per axle to drive on it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
The great thing they did in Chicago years ago, dude, was they introduced the Illinois toll road, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we're only going to have it long enough to pay for these road projects and this, that, and the other. And then it'll go away. There won't be any tolls anymore. And they did all these projects. And 10 years later, it was supposed to go away. And then, they came up with an excuse why we can't get rid of it yet. And now it's to the point where if you want to use the shortest route from Indiana to Chicago, which only takes you like 20 minutes, it's called the Illinois Skyway. It's $20.
Yep.
To drive into Chicago, it's $20 to drive back home.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is a violation of the constitutional right to travel.
I'm sure it probably is, but
you shouldn't. You're not supposed to pay to travel. That's unconstitutional. So, I mean, if I was a lawyer, I'd be having a field day in this decade.
I'm sure someone.
The problem up here is, dude, it's so twisted Democrat that you'd never get it through the courts.
Well, that's why you make it untenable for them.
Here is your representation for this stream, Lorenzo, wherever you may be. Cross Comics in the house. Hey, Rick. Shave a koala and see how cute they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen a shaved koala. Are they
probably look like chihuahuas.
They probably look pretty funny without their fur.
I mean, I've shaved a cat and they look just as freaky.
Well, how dare you?
I've also put a cat in a Walmart bag and then you tape it to the ceiling fan and then turn it on.
Yeah.
And then you slit the bag, like you cut the bag and then it flies out and you see if they land on their feet. It's kind of funny.
Smoking, why do I, get the feeling that you're going to look like this in a few years? Mr. Cynical just sitting there going, I never made it without body. Yeah. I'd like to go out and shave a koala today.
I know. Past Master Dan has some great ideas.
But there's no koalas around here for us to shave. There's black bears.
We'd have to break into a zoo.
Yeah, we got the Gentry Zoo. Have you been there?
Do we have skunk apes?
We have skunks.
Well, we definitely have skunks. There's a lot of skunks in the
Maybe we could just shave a skunk and just call it a koala.
Oh, hell no. This is my cat. Wow. Wow. You get too aggressive with it and your cat sprays you. Woo!
Actually, my grandpa told me a story yesterday about when he remembers when his mom kicked his dad out of the house and he was like 12 and he thought that they were like in trouble like in their marriage. Well, it turns out that my great grandpa went outside because he thought something was getting in the chicken and he stepped on a skunk.
Being so old.
So she wouldn't let him back in the house.
He fixed it once and then he fell. He was sitting in.
That would suck,
Mike Barron dropping something on Twitter. I think we'd all like to see. The label reads on this meat, beef loin T-bone steak, humanely raised but occasionally verbally abused.
It's acceptable.
I don't know where it comes up with this stuff. Oh, bears are naked, ugly too. Oh, they're downright scary. Some bear. You remember that bear I showed you, Shadowhawk, without his hair? He looked like a werewolf.
Yeah, he was pretty creepy.
When he says bears, he means the animal, right? Not like the human representation.
Yes.
Oh, he's out in the chat. Ask him. I don't know why are we talking about him in the third person?
Good point. I don't know.
George likes chicken spicy.
Just speak up. He's past Master Dan's not ever at a loss for words.
Rarely, yeah.
Yeah. He's always got an opinion. That's what I like. Opinionated person.
Oh, not the San Francisco bear. So he knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, that makes one of us.
Yeah. Oh, well, a hairy gay guy is a bear, right? Real
I
hairy.
gave up trying to, I gave up.
I got a gay
long time ago
cousin. He
trying to
keeps me in the
figure
loop.
you out.
It's the only
Well,
time
it
it's nice to
being
have a
it
gay
being
cousin.
how it being so close to Halloween, I think we need some music.
Mm.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mash,
he did the monster mash.
the monster mash.
It was a graveyard
He
smash.
did the mash,
It caught on in a flash.
he did the mash.
He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abode to get a jolt from my electrode.
They did the mash,
They did the monster
the
mash.
monster mash.
It was a graveyard
They
smash.
did the mash,
It caught on in a
Chapel
flash.
Hill is really creepy
They
today.
did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking, all were digging the sound. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hound. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker
they
Five.
played the mash,
They played the monster
the
mash.
monster mash.
It was a graveyard
They
smash.
played the mash,
It caught on in a flash.
they played the mash.
They played the monster mash. Out from his coffin, Jack's voice did ring. Seemed he was troubled by just one thing. Opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?
It's now the mash,
It's now the monster
the
mash."
monster mash.
What'd they do? Let Mayberry out? Look at this Mayberry crowd.
Good question.
And it's a graveyard
It's
smash.
now the mash,
It's caught on in a flash.
it's now the mash.
Another couple seconds, I would have been done with it. But looks like Dick York. Dick York played Darren on Bewitched.
He did a little bit, yeah.
Oh,
Was
yeah,
the first Darren, Dick York. Also did some movies and things. I missed Dick York after he left
You did a lot of cocaine.
Bewitched, the show.
He said that's the way we used to dress before 1980.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
the second.
I wouldn't know.
I don't.
Well, I mean, you see people picking their children up in like pajamas. It's ridiculous how we've just gotten away from dressing up and looking I don't know, professional.
Hey, Blue Sasquatch.
Looking like you're put together, or actually
look
care
like
about
looking like we care, that we have that we spend a little time on things. I don't know.
Yeah, I see people all the time up there in their pajama pants and shit at the dollar store or whatever. It's 3:00 in the afternoon. You
right.
haven't
That's
had a
if it
chance
was
to
3
put
in the
some clothes
morning,
on.
that would be
Yeah.
different. Yep. I knew people that went to school like that. It was like, what the hell is wrong with you?
What's wrong with the school letting them even come in like that? Go and put some pants on,
They
stupid.
didn't violate the dress code. There wasn't holes or whatever. It was just looking like pajamas and shit.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I mean, we had different dress up
falling.
days. And now it's the pants thing, right? Where the pants are down below your ass. It's
I can't stand that.
That's just the
I mean,
stupidest
if you
shit
have
ever.
to walk down the sidewalk holding up your pants,
Listen. If you can't bend over to pick up your phone that you dropped without grabbing your ass and like making sure your ass doesn't hang out, there's a problem.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't tie your shoes because your pants are at your knees, so you can't quite bend over properly. Like everything's messed up. It doesn't make sense.
You can't walk like a normal human being. You know,
You
gotta
can
take
walk
a
like you just got off of a really long horse ride. You know.
Yeah.
well, it's not going to end. I still see people that do that, you know.
Look, I got
Oh.
buddies that did that for years.
Not
and
as many as
now
they
they're
used
wearing
to.
belts. So
And what was their thinking on that? Why
they
did
thought
they
they
do
were
it?
thugs or something.
Yeah,
It was it actually was some kind of thing that developed from like what people used to do in prison. And then when they got out, they decided they were gonna rock it on the street.
Yeah, it's like a gang thing that turned into it was in the rap music, and then the rap music
Mhm.
infiltrated the culture, and then ergo you get all these young people looking like retards. But now they get a little bit older and they realize they were retarded, so now that they're wearing belts, some of them.
Yeah, most of them have wised up.
Took a while, but it's slowly but surely.
There was a
I
dude.
even saw
I
Ice
think,
Cube talk
I
about
think in
that.
Chicago, he wrote a song about that a few years back. It was like a local hit. It was funny as hell. I wish I could remember the lyrics.
Yeah,
But he,
I remember Ice
but he
Cube.
was talking about pulling up your pants.
Mhm. Yeah. Good time.
that's a beauty. Hey, Blue Sasquatch, rip away pants. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, breakaway pants are great for a first date.
Oh, shadow.
That's what I
You
used to
kiss
wear
your
when I was a male
mo-
stripper.
Yeah, there you go. Quick tug and wham, you're
Well, the
ready for
women
action.
don't have the muscles to, rip the shirt and shorts off, so you got to put buttons on them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Poor women and their weak arms.
Yeah, tiny little helpless fingers.
Hmm. What would they do without men?
That's right.
you guys. I
We're
will
going to start
pray
all the
for you.
controversy this
I will
morning.
pray for you.
You're supposed to be praying for me every day, Brett, 'cause I see how you are.
I know. Comic book, well, specifically, we need to learn to pray specifically. Comic book nerd found a comic book yesterday. It came out on a Wednesday from Alterna Comics. He says, I haven't heard of this title, but the cover artwork is insane and sold me on it straight away. Contains a set of different short stories by a number of artists. And I will tell you, this is a great pickup. Don't know if it's a newsstand edition. That would be even better because there was some early newsstand Alterna. But I will tell you, the way I found out about it came out on Wednesday, #2, and I do have it. I bought it in a lot on eBay right after I heard Peter Simeti talk about this particular issue. One of the artists that worked for Alterna on this issue said he did not want his stuff published. It was kind of like he fell into the woke crowd about Comicsgate.
Mhm.
And so Pete said that this particular issue, it came out on Wednesday, #2, would never be reproduced. And I bought the only one. Wednesday #2 are the worst. Okay. Well, it may be, but I'm saying I think it'll be a highly collectible book.
I think
Because
Tuesday
it will
#2
never
is
be reproduced. You'll have to get an original, and probably print run on this was lower at the time. I don't know that for a fact, but it's still a good find out in the wild.
Hey, as long as it's worth something, who cares?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're talking, you're into that type of thing, that your books are collectible. I think that this is a good one because he said it'll never be reproduced, reprinted again, at least in its original form.
And Blue Sasquatch, it was Rex's choppy ass theater that was making that guy's face look so weird.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Caught on in a flash. What's wrong with his face? Yeah.
All right, hey, Carrie, I told you you'd do great.
Oh, nice.
Oi, oi,
Oh,
Derek.
good. Oh, good. So you actually started doing the intercessory prayer thing. That's wonderful. Because yeah, that is a big part of any ministry. That's a big part.
I'm
Oh,
so
Rex,
glad to hear
remember
it.
that verse that
Very proud of you. Very proud.
do you remember that verse I realized was left out of a lot of versions of the Bible?
Oh, right.
Matthew
Howbeit this
17,
only
21.
goes out through prayer and fasting.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Well, I told my grandpa, and he goes, "Wait, are you serious?" So when he had his a bunch of old people come over for their group once a week, he actually went around the room and had them check each of their Bibles, and only one guy had it in it.
Really?
Really?
Only one guy.
Well, it makes me want to hold on to the Bibles that I have for sure.
Yeah. It makes me want to go to a flea market and find an old copy.
So they're editing the Bible now?
That's what I was me and Pop were talking about in the shop yesterday, and he goes, "That doesn't seem very Christian like to leave out passages." And I was like, "Yeah, tell me about it." Well, in the footnote it says it's too similar to Mark 9:29 that it's like a waste of ink or whatever to put it there. And I'm like, this verse is six words. Like, really?
That's crazy.
But if you look up Mark
you know.
9:29, it has nothing to do with fasting and prayer. So.
Well, I used to be a Bible salesman. Used to order. I worked at a Christian bookstore for 6 years. The same Christian bookstore that my mother and aunt worked for in the 60s. We went over 60 years with that store before it was closed down. And it still could have been going today had the owner, managed it correctly. But
and not died. No.
I have to show you this wacky sticker, Shadow.
Ooh, Mr. Bog.
Hold on.
Wet bread. Slip
slap.
Soggy slices. 22 fluid ounces.
Oh.
That's like a beer can, liquid bread.
Yeah, there you go. Oh God, did you guys hear that stuff that was going on? I think it started on Friday. You know who that Amaranth brought
she's
in?
the whore that dresses in a horse mask or something.
Yeah. Apparently she's teamed up with some god dang disgusting beer company. She's going to give them a culture of her personal yeast, and they're going to make amaranth flavored beer.
Oh no, that's worse than Gwyneth Paltrow and those vagina candles.
Yep, exactly, dude. I can't believe this crap.
She's still in court over those candles. A guy burned himself.
Really?
Yeah, it exploded. Like it created like a torch, and he half his body got burned.
Wow. Well, what was he doing with that candle?
It says you're not supposed to light them for more than an hour. He had it lit like all damn day. Whatever.
Well, he was really enjoying the scent of.
That's what I said. I was like, he likes Gwyneth. You should feel flattered.
Yeah. Now give him his money.
God, this is so weird.
I got a feeling he was trying to do something weird with that candle, but that's just me.
Of course, but that's his business, She shouldn't have made a candle that turned into a blowtorch.
Bassmaster Dan says his candle called Man Farts was a bomb.
My candle was called That Stank.
Colonial Viper.
Oh, cool. Somebody build this in their freaking garage?
They're breaking the land
sure
speed
this
record.
is back in the day, but gosh, it barely fits in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know parking's a premium, but this is ridiculous.
Would you guys drive that thing if there were a couple jets in the back to break a world record?
Oh, hell yeah. Put wheels on that baby and take it out to the salt flats?
Have either of you ever been out to the salt flats? Because I don't get out that much.
Yep. I visited when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. We used to go out there and ride dirt bikes and four-wheelers and watch the crazy people with big motors go fast.
Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah, I never got to play in the Salt Flats. It was just more of a touristy type of thing. We were driving through, I think, I forget where we were headed that time. Some trip with my dad. He used to road trip every summer.
It is
And
crazy when you get out there. It's so flat, just for miles.
Check out
we
this
got to see
baby.
him doing some test runs though. They had some of those crazy cars out there that were
Oh, it's
trying to
so
break
fun.
the speed record. What?
They go by, it's just a blur.
What is this baby doing?
This is a baby stroller from 100 years ago. I could see where this could be beneficial. You know,
Yeah,
the child learns to hold on for dear life.
that's kind of cool. It
That's kind of neat, really. Yeah.
well, it
Very
teaches kids
portable.
grip strength. You know, you got to have strength in your arms to maintain balance. It's good to teach you.
Now, what if the child lets go? Could go back, crack its head, or front face. You know,
Yeah, good face
That's
plant.
on the
You
kid.
know,
They'll learn not to do it again, right?
that's
I mean, if you hit a bump, you know, they could go flying, right? But
well, I'm
All you
sure
gotta do
the
is put a
mothers
little
weren't.
suspension on it. You'll be fine.
There you go. Hey,
Has
that's
it
what you need
started
it for.
turning?
It's natural suspension.
Hmm.
Shadowhawk, has it started turning cold up there? It's been in the 40s, rainy and cold around here.
Yeah, it started Friday night here. It was like 65, almost 70 up until 4 o'clock on Friday, and then by 9 o'clock Friday night we were down in the 40s. And then today it feels like about 40. I don't know.
Bob Ross's birthday, if had he still been living, he would have been 81 years old.
Wow. I miss
Hashtag
that guy.
taken too soon.
We used to
There
watch
are no mistakes, only happy accidents.
We used to watch that almost once a day when I lived in Omaha. My roommate would try drawing, you know, with him. It was hypnotizing watching him do all that. Put happy trees.
Yeah, I always liked the little the white-haired German guy. What was it, Bob something or another? Maybe it wasn't Bob, I forget. But yeah, he used to do the almighty palette brush and the almighty fan brush.
The almighty.
Crimson.
Yeah,
Crimson.
it's the crimson. It was fun to watch, though.
Mighty Mountain. William Alexander.
William Alexander. That's it. William Alexander.
The caption reads, cell phones should have options to change airplane mode to drunk mode. That way your drunk texts never leave your phone.
Ah, that's a good idea.
It senses the alcohol in your breath, so it won't send a text.
Yeah. It just fakes it, says text sent. You know,
Yeah, it
waits
just
for you to
says it so
go
that
there.
when you're drunk, you're like, okay, fine.
I really am against them for my own reasons. I won't go into it, but I am against like the
Squirrel?
car breathalyzer that won't, you know, your car won't stop if the car
Yeah, but you're
considers
so
drunk, because that's taking it out of human hands. That could actually cost lives itself.
People always find a way around things.
I just
yeah,
think
but
we're making
normally they
more-
don't put those kind of things on your car unless you've already caused, you know, multiple drunk driving accidents, right?
Yeah, but wouldn't it only take like an air compressor to just blow air in it continuously, and you'd be like, oh, it's clear, and it starts?
I mean, I'm sure there's got to be a way to get around it, right? I don't
That's what
know.
I mean. That's my point. Is people are ingenuitive, so if they're going to drunk drive, they're going to figure out a way to do it. So you may as well just, you know.
I just don't see why you have to go through that much trouble to drink and drive. Can't you just stay home?
Well, that's kind of the point, right? Like it's an addiction. So
I get it. I don't know. I just,
you need to send them to a dry county.
So,
We got
yeah,
plenty.
then they're going to be driving even farther to go get food.
Hey, we got plenty of dry counties to send them to.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Michael wasn't a dry county, but we had
I guess
no
I
liquor
need to be
sales on
drunk. to
Sundays
watch this.
up until about 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, this set
What
my
the hell?
security system off in the house.
Oh, my. Well, Show off.
Hmm.
Come on, let's see how far she can get it in there.
Pretty far.
Yeah,
Lights
looks
her
like
neck
all
up.
of it.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
Impressive.
Impressive. Yeah. I think I'll go back to bed.
Her day job is a sword swallower. Don't let her. Don't get that impressed.
Share mine if you would.
Okay. I'll go turn my security system off
Yeah.
for some reason. Maybe the window. Oh, this is cool.
Oh,
That's one of those pop-up type things, huh?
Yeah. He's like, I can't get it, damn it. Nope.
Oh,
nope.
here, I'll share it with you.
You know that dog is just gonna bite that thing in half in a minute. It's like,
I don't know, man. A lot of dogs are pretty well trained. They just freak out, you know.
yeah. Look at him. He's like, come on, please.
He looks like a
Slobbering,
cutie,
man.
doesn't he?
Yeah. It reminds me of my buddy's pit bull. He's just like, he acts like a freaking teddy bear. Like, if you look at him the wrong way, he goes like,
Did you guys see that video I reposted yesterday of the little parrot that was harassing the cat?
No.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. This little like I don't. It's probably about the size of a cockatiel, not like a huge parrot. But he's like bouncing around on the couch, just jumping, and this cat's sitting there trying to sleep, and this little bird is just bouncing. Finally, the little bird jumps on the cat's head. The cat fucking just paws him into a corner and gives him like a quick da 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 da. You know? But apparently they're like best friends because it wasn't like trying to hurt the bird. It was funny watching them fight. You like gave them the. You ever watched the Diaz brothers when they have the little Shiba Inu getting the bonk? Kind of one of those things. Oh, so how's your week been? Smoking? What you been up to, man? You working? Or?
yeah. Tinkered on a couple pressure washers and what was it? One of those really old rototiller I got running.
Oh, okay. So have you completely given up the landscaping thing and just gone small engine, or?
Right now, yeah, it's the time of year for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I mean, we used to fucking kill this time of year with cleanups, dude. People that don't want to do their own leaves and stuff.
Mm.
We'd work 10, 12-hour days just going out doing yard cleanups, you know, for fall.
Yeah, well, when it's just me, I tend to do jobs that pay more, like more specialty work.
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense.
Walkways.
I mean,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, because you got to have at least one other guy usually, you know, because you want to. Like what we used to do is just fill a giant tarp, you know, drag it across the room, dump it in big piles so that the street suckers come by and get them.
Right.
And but you got to have at least two people to pull those tarps around, man. They get heavy.
And we don't have street sweepers around here either, so we got to clean up.
Oh, you guys don't have the leaf suckers that come by? You just
Nope.
Still burn your own, or how do you guys get rid of them?
Well, I usuly bring all the waste back to my place and burn it. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to enjoy those days, but they outlawed burning leaves up here like 20 years ago. So
That's so anti-American. Everything about it.
I know.
Give a hoot.
Dude,
don't
I'm
blue.
amazed I don't get harassed for my fire pit in my backyard, but the cops around here are pretty cool. They don't really bother people as long as it's contained.
Well, see, I actually looked up the law for burning around here just because my grandpa was like, well, we have basically a permanent permit to burn our burn pile, but we have to call and make sure that the winds aren't more than 10 miles an hour. Like that's the only real restriction.
Yeah, well, I guess a lot of times it depends where you're situated too. You know, like if which direction the smoke's gonna go. If you're like right near a major traffic artery or something like that, you got to be very careful about that kind of thing.
Well, the only reason we have to call is because since things got built up around us, whenever we light our burn pile, people think a house is on fire.
Oh,
And they would come with fire trucks every time we'd start this burn pit,
Oh, geez.
thinking that
Yeah.
someone was on fire. And we'd be like, listen, man, we've told you this 1,000 times. We burn like once a month, maybe more. I mean, depends on the storms, but
Right.
like, you know, just fuck off, get off my property. That's what my grandpa used to say. Just get off my property. What are you doing here?
I don't blame
They
him.
would leave, so whatever.
And I mean, even that is just stupid. Oh, well, you got to call us before you light your fire. How about no?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What the
He tries it on plastic.
goofball?
I've seen that. What's his name? The guy with the messed up hands. He's like disabled or
Yeah.
whatever. He does some.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of his videos. Yeah,
He's got some pretty good ones.
yeah, he does.
He makes people
He's
feel
actually,
so uncomfortable. It's hilarious.
and he's actually really funny for as jacked up as he is. He's got a great sense of humor.
Hmm.
I don't know if I would be, that cheerful in life.
Well, it depends. It depends on if I was born that way or not. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not even sure exactly, what his condition is. I just know it don't look good.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? Here we go again. Somebody's calling me. Good. Leave me alone. It's Sunday, people.
Someone's popular.
It is indeed Sunday. I guess we will get out of here, talk behind the scenes or whatever, if you want to.
Oh no!
But, thanks for joining us.
All right, everybody.
Bow
Hail.
for now.
Have a good Sunday.
Absolutely.